back to another episode of Sentience, Conversations about Lives Being Lived. I am your host, Alison. On today's show, we will explore a topic that never ceases to amaze me, the world of magic, a space in life that both allows and embraces the idea of mystery to thrive, is something that I can spend hours exploring and never tire of. I personally love the magical arts of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, a time in history when imagination reigned supreme and the stage was so much more than simply actors performing. I am curious what magic means for you. Some may say illusions, tricks, entertainment. Others may look to the more mystical elements, serendipity, kismet, and perhaps a few may say it has everything to do with coincidence or argue the science behind it all. I don't feel there is one exact explanation for it, and that in itself is magical to me. I think magic is ever present in all of its many forms, and each person can tap into its gifts in whichever way calls to them. I could say that meeting today's guest was magic in itself. It is not every day that you happen to strike up a conversation with someone traveling with a performance goldfish while waiting for a flight in a tiny commuter airport, travel in an even tinier plane from one island to another, and part ways with a plan to develop an episode on magic. But that is exactly what happened when I met Brenton Keith, an incredibly creative and talented artist who not only has dedicated his life to magic, but also hosts game shows in the true spirit of retro television. This conversation is literally like a dream come true, and I am intrigued to see what evolves today. Now, with that being said, I am thrilled to introduce him. Brenton Keith, welcome to the show.
Yes, aloha.
I am so excited to have you here today.
Yes.
I feel like we have a lot to talk about, and it's gonna be so much fun and intrigue, and wow, I'm just excited to see where the conversation goes.
Yes, me too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, well, why don't we jump right in? Can you talk a little bit about what your initial inspiration was to pursue magic?
Okay, well, it all started in South Street, Pennsylvania. I was born in LA, but I moved to right outside of Philadelphia when I was a kid, and my dad took me to the street performers in South Street, and I could not believe when I saw that there was a magician doing all these tricks on the street, and then afterwards was getting money in his hat. And that's the first time I ever saw magic, and I couldn't believe that these guys were making money doing magic tricks. And I said, oh, I want to do that.
So you were fairly young?
Yep, that was like we're talking like 7 or 8 years old. And,
wow, and even at that young of an age, it struck you.
It struck me, and then it was somewhat after that, I'm not sure how far after that a friend of mine knew just your most basic card trick and showed me how to do the one with the rows, the 3 rows, and he showed me this trick and how to do it, and I ran home and showed my mom, and the expression on my mom's face was when it officially bit me. It was like, oh wow, I felt the power, and I said, oh, I want to learn more. I want to do this for everyone.
Wow.
And so she ended up taking me to the magic shop, and first it was there for a little bit, but then she ended up dropping me off at the magic shops, and I became the young annoying kid at the magic shop who would bug the demonstrator at the shop to show what this is and that.
And they let you hang out there?
They did, but it's a common. It used to be. Well, magic shops aren't really a thing anymore. But what they would do, they would let me hang out as long as I was well behaved. So I would be on the outskirts, and I would wait for other people to come in and ask, "What is that?" And then I would get so excited, because the demonstrator would have to show them what they asked. That's how it was in the magic.
Right.
In the magic shop world.
I can completely envision this, being a little kid, spending your afternoons in a magic shop. That sounds incredible. Wow, and what a gift, to be able to observe those things at such a young age and say, wow, this is cool, and I want to learn more.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, did you want to share a few of your magic tricks with us?
Magic? I love magic,
okay.
sure.
In this amazing bag of tricks here,
Let's see. I've got a whole bunch of bags. I mean, how long is this interview? How long? I've got a whole bunch of things I want to share. Oh, wait, that's not it.
Oh, I love that.
Hold on. How about I just show you something really quick? Maybe too soon for the fire tricks. How about we do something like this? Have you ever played with one of these things?
I have spent my whole life trying to perfect these things, and
they drive me crazy.
They're very difficult.
Even me, they drive me crazy. But I figure as a magician, I should be able to, magish. Right? Like instead of twisting and turning, I should just go boom.
Okay. How?
Right? Take that, Guinness Book of World Records.
Wow. Okay, that was.
I have a whole bag, so buckle up. We've got 4 hours more.
We have a whole bag of tricks. This thing is amazing. This thing is amazing. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so a question I have for you. I've seen so many different terms for magic, specifically for people who practice magic. And so some popular ones are magician, illusionist, conjurer. Are there distinctions, or are they ultimately the same thing? Can you talk a little bit about that and how a person decides that they're going to be one of these titles?
Okay.
How that works, because I'm so curious.
A common question is, what's the difference between magician and illusionist? And my quick answer is that every illusionist is a magician, because they're doing big magic and they're using big illusions and big props. Okay. But every magician is not necessarily an illusionist. I never got into big props where I bought this big gigantic box and you cut someone in half, and those are typically called illusions. So the big stuff in the magic community. But I understand how the laymen, non-magic people, still think that what this was as an illusion, but it's not really. That wasn't a big prop. This was more conjuring that a magician did. This was more conjuring because it was using sleight of hand and prestidigitation, which is where the word presto comes from.
Can you say that word again?
Prestidigitation.
Wow.
That's a good one.
That's a really good word.
It's like presto and then digits, right? That's where it comes together, right?
And
that's where sleight of hand and legerdemain is another good one that I like. So when I first got involved in magic, it was all this close-up magic, the card tricks, the coin tricks, and using my hands to perform these feats of conjuring or skill, which is totally different from doing a big illusion. Like, let's say David Copperfield, he made the Statue of Liberty disappear.
That's specifically
right. That's an illusion, right?
Okay.
Right. Okay. That's more of an illusion.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I'd also see how it's a kind of a gray area, because there might be a magician who would perform a small illusion, but it's rare that in my case that I have seen.
Okay.
So when you see a card trick, it's not, you didn't just see an illusion, you just saw a trick using sleight of hand and skill.
Okay, so that's conjuring, a magician conjuring a trick, something like. Okay, that actually gives me a lot of perspective.
Okay.
And it seems clearer now, because thank you for describing that, because it's interesting to me, and it seems like a lot of the modern day magicians go under the title of illusionist, especially the really big shows.
Okay.
Like David Copperfield.
Sure.
David Blaine.
Well, but David Blaine hasn't performed many illusions. He's he's actually more into the 1900s stuff.
Like the Houdini stuff,
correct,
right?
Where he's doing feats. Feats, which are where he's stood inside of a block of ice for 36 hours, and
Right.
you know, he'd do like spectacle things where he was
On a very grand scale.
on a very grand scale, which is interesting to me because the last person who did that, I mean, was Harry Houdini, where that's why people remembered him, because he was the guy who escaped from the chains in the water torture cell, and so
At a time in history where you didn't have all of these special effects
Right.
or anything, like he was the real deal.
yeah, and he was also an incredible prestidigitator as well. He was also really good he was incredible card manipulator, and he could do amazing stuff with cards too.
Wow.
So David Blaine is very similar to
He
Harry
draws
Houdini,
inspiration from.
because David Blaine also is a very good card technician. Technician is another word that magicians use.
Technician.
Because
Interesting.
your technical skill, you can either roll coins or you can't. You can either, how good are you at making a coin vanish and things like that.
Right. Wow. See, it's fascinating to me. I love this. Let me ask you, in your years, because you've been doing magic now for most of your life.
Yeah.
Have you ever come across people who, are thrown away or pushed back from magic, or afraid of it, or
Yes.
just don't want anything to do with it?
Yeah, I'm going to say that's like 1% of
1%. Okay.
I'm going to say it's 1%. Thank God, because it's mainly it's been people who've said, "Oh, no, I don't want to see magic. You've made some kind of deal with the devil," and it's more of a religious thing.
Okay.
I think where they're just no. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Please don't share magic with me.
Wow.
And that's very, very rare.
Very rare. But you have experienced
I
that.
have experienced it when I did restaurant magic, when you would walk up to a table. So that because I was a close-up table-side magician at a restaurant where the hardest part is the approach, where you would walk up and say, "Hello, my name is Brenton. I'm a magician. Would you like to see some magic?" And every once in a while you would get someone that says, No, please don't share.
And very serious about it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I've always been very curious about that. Wow. Okay. So, in regards to someone like Harry Houdini and modern day magicians, what are your thoughts on them? Do you feel more called to the old school stuff or the modern stuff? How do you, as a magician who's been doing it most of his life, what intrigues you?
I'm going to use the word vaudeville, vaudevillian.
Okay.
The illusion stuff never really got to me, mainly because you have to become a furniture mover just to do a 5-minute routine. Like if I was to buy this big elaborate cabinet or box that I could put my wife in and try and cut her in half and do all that, it's like I have to carry around these big gigantic props and I have to put them somewhere, right? It seems extremely cumbersome as far as space goes. So what's intrigued me is sticking back to the vaudevillian days of where I'm just somebody on a platform and I'm ready to take on a crowd and show them magic with just my bag of tricks. Like whatever packs small and plays big. That's always been my, that's what I've strived to continue to go for. But my bag of tricks keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then the next thing you know, the bag got to a big box, and it's like, oh, I got to stop learning more tricks because it just keeps going further.
And that's got to be tough because there's so much amazing stuff out there,
Right.
and I'm guessing it's an ever-evolving industry.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure people are constantly coming up with new tricks, right?
Yep.
So
And the majority of them are ones that other magicians have already, that magic's, the ideas and the concepts have been around for a long time, but it's just their take or their twist on an old classic.
I see. Okay.
So there's a lot of that.
Oh gosh. Well, I could talk to you. I could do a whole episode just talking about this. Thank you for sharing that, though, because it's. I find it fascinating. I really do, and so thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have been doing magic on Maui for 25 years now, is that correct?
Like 27. Yeah,
27
I moved here
years.
in January of 1998. Yeah.
Okay, can you talk a bit about how you got your start here on Maui?
It's 25. Yeah, you're right. 25. You're
25 years? A while. It's been a while, which is incredible. It's incredible. Can you talk a bit about how you started your work on Maui and what it has evolved into?
Okay, well, I had a job working at Wizards at Universal City Walk in Hollywood. And that is where I got to rub elbows with all big magicians, illusionists and close-up magicians, and I got to watch them and study them and meet tons and tons of magicians in the magic world, and right there in Los Angeles, which was just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Magic Castle, the world-famous Hollywood Magic Castle. And it was there that I was working there that I met the right magician named Warren Gibson, who said he was going to open up his own magic club in Maui. And that was Warren and Annabelle's magic club that very sadly is no longer there anymore, but that was my stepping stone toward magic. I mean, I got to perform. He brought me along to Maui, and
so he saw your work in LA.
Worked, yeah, we worked together.
Oh, okay.
We were both magicians.
I see. Okay.
At this club, different.
At the Magic Castle?
Not at the Magic Castle. At this place called Wizards.
At Universal.
At Universal, which was more of like a public place.
Is that like the City Walk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he brought me along to help open up Warren and Annabelle's, and so that was my entrance to Maui.
Okay.
And I helped open up that magic club and get that whole thing started. And he gave me 5 minutes to open up for him, and then 10 minutes, and then 15 minutes, and he started to give me flight time. And then that 15 minutes turned into my own 1 hour full-length show.
Wow.
Where I did the family show at Warren and Annabelle's.
Wow. Well, Warren and Annabelle's was an institution here on Maui, and sadly lost in the fires in Lahaina recently. But wow, what an entry into Maui.
Yeah.
Going through Warren and Annabelle's. That's incredible.
Yeah, he gave me my break. One fun story was when I was up there, and he said, "Oh, you're only going to do 10 minutes." And then about 8 minutes into it, he had one of the servers come and hand me a note. And he was standing in the back of the room, and he handed me a note, and the note said, "Warren's in the bathroom. You need to stay on stage." And he was standing in the back of the room with his arms crossed. So he just wanted to see what it would, that was, hey, okay, bud, you're on the lights, you're in the crowd, what are you going to do now when you don't have anything planned?
That's amazing.
Right, and that's when I realized, okay, that's how you develop your persona and your character, and as long as I have a deck of cards and a crowd and the lights, all right, here we go. And so that
is amazing.
It really helped me.
It must have been a bit nerve-wracking in the moment.
Oh yeah, of course, very. Especially with him standing in the back, and I could see him.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And you came up with a continued act.
Improv.
Improv.
Yeah.
Improv. Well, that's something that really intrigues me about your work, because as we've talked previously, a lot of magicians are very serious with their work, which I respect that and I love that.
Sure.
What I really love about your work is that you incorporate comedy into your magic, which is very unique, and you don't see that so often. So, I feel like that really stands out with your work, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Well, there are a lot of comedy magicians out there. I definitely have fallen into that side of it way more than the serious magic guy. And I love to say that I do magic and comedy, because if I'm not funny, hopefully the magic's good. And if the magic's no good, hopefully I'm funny, right? And you have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Like if you're a stand-up comedian and you're doing only comedy, you better be funny. It's hard. It's hard to
Tough
only
gig.
do comedy.
Yeah.
And if you're only doing magic, if you're like a serious magician and you're just going to perform one feat after another, that magic better be really good.
Yeah.
Right? So to have that mix of comedy and magic is a really good push and pull and an opportunity for the audience to relax into the magic and then laugh and have a good, good moment and breath, and then get back into the serious. And so it's a good dance.
And I'm sure it really helps when doing the family-oriented magic shows because it gets the kids
Yeah.
engaged
Sure.
and laughing and
Sure.
A chance to be really silly. So I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are currently the only magic show on Maui, correct?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
And you do a weekly show
Yep.
at Mulligan's in Wailea. So can we actually have a really great clip of your work at
Awesome.
Mulligan's. So
Okay.
can we please run the clip of Brenton's work at Mulligan's?
Great.
My name is Brenton Keith, and this is my bag of tricks, which I showcase at the Mulligan's Magic Show. Every Tuesday, you can expect to see high-energy comedy and magic. Now, I do comedy and magic because if I'm not funny, hopefully the magic's good. And if the magic's no good, hopefully I'm funny. Now, when these two are combined, people are blown away at how fun it can be, no matter how old. Adults sometimes soak up the magic even more so than the kids. First, I warm up the crowd with tableside close-up magic. Now this is where the magic happens right under their nose, sometimes in their hands, making the experience unique for them. Now this is where I really use the magic as a tool to connect with the audience and get everybody laughing and having a good time. Then it's time to take the stage. Now this is not a magic show with big props and illusions. It's just a parlor-style platform with me and my bag of tricks. People tell me all the time that they felt like they were a kid again. I like the shock factor of magic. I like the way that it can take people on a full roller coaster ride that they were not expecting about getting on. There's tons of interaction, making each show different based on the audience. And did I mention the laughs? The impact that magic has on people is why I love it. The whole reason I got into magic is because the reaction it has on people. Surprise, astonishment, giddiness, and downright fun, happening every Tuesday at the Mulligan's Magic.
I love that clip. And I can attest to it. I actually went out to Mulligan's and I saw Brenton Show, and it is fantastic.
Which is now Thursdays instead of Tuesdays.
Yes, Thursdays. Thursdays at 6:30.
6:30 show
in
time
Wailea.
instead of 7, like it said there on the card. So
Yes. So
Thank you.
always just check the website, which we will share later.
Perfect.
But weekly
Yep.
show. Lots of fun. And the goldfish who I met on our flight was actually in there. And tell me again his name?
Elvish.
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 Yeah.
Elvish. And that act was great with incorporating kids into coming up to the stage and working with the fish. It was just great. So that was really fun to see. And I actually wanted to ask you, so your wife also does magic,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
Okay.
She does children's magic.
Children's magic.
specifically.
And
yeah.
like the balloon animals.
Yeah, so her forte, she's an incredible balloon artist. She has incredible balloon
so cool.
twisting, and then she's now started balloon decor. So her balloons are
Balloon decor?
balloon decor, like the full gigantic arches. And,
Okay, wow.
But so balloon twisting, and she also does face painting
Okay.
and stilt walking and fire spinning. So yeah, we're the circus together.
Yeah, yes.
But she was going to stop doing magic, her magic, because she had so many other different things going on. But I encouraged her to stick with it, specifically because she's so good for the younger kids. My show is, my magic, I like to say, is for all ages. You know, I'm definitely not a kiddie magician.
She specifically does kids.
She's very good for those, because performing for the 4 and under is a whole different level of keeping their engagement.
Yes.
I can do it, but sometimes her style, sometimes if a children's performer where you're specifically saying 1, 2, 3, poof, and being a little bit more clown-like, so
and having the face painting and all of those elements really helps with that specific genre. So that's really cool.
And she's got a whole team of people who, balloon twisters and face painters, and so.
Oh, wow. Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. You guys are so cool. What a great couple. I love it.
We met at a gig. We met at a gig at the Maui Mall.
Did you really?
Where I was like, "Who's this competition?" And I gave her my card.
I love that. Love that. Well, I remember in your act that I went to at Mulligan's, you did a fun. You talked about the balloon animals, and you're like, "Well, I'm not going to actually do the balloon." I was like, that was really funny. So yeah.
I could eat. That's an easy thing to like. Okay, name any animal you'd like, and I'll do it out of a balloon.
Cat.
A cat, easy. Here we go. Okay, done. No, I don't blow mine up. And there you are. There's a cat.
Oh, you see, I love that. But she makes the actual balloons.
Elaborate.
Did she make those fish?
Yes.
The fish. Okay. Those were very cool.
Yeah,
those are part of a kit, right?
So at the end of the show at Mulligan's, we now sell mini bag of tricks. So you can have your own little bag of tricks that has the card trick that I learned magic that got me excited about magic, and a couple other things in there from the show that I do, and as well as a balloon Elvish that's in my show.
Yes, I got to go home with one of those, and it's very cute, and I think that's such a great takeaway for kids, because it's a basic kit that they can just spark their interest and see where it goes.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great idea. Well, with that being said, I wanted to highlight a milestone in your career. There was a young fan who came to, was it a Mulligan show? Okay, so a young fan recently came, and you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, his name is Owen, and he saw me perform when he was 5 years old.
Can we have some photos of him. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Owen, this is Owen.
This is the cutest thing ever. So Owen, so now here in this photo, he's 10 years old.
Okay, so 5 years he's been following you.
5 years. I think him and his family came to see my show one other time between 5 and now. And this past year, when his mom asked him what he would like to be for Halloween, he said, "I want to be a magician, but I don't want to just be any magician. I want to be Brenton Keith and his bag of tricks."
Oh my gosh.
I mean, are you kidding me? So look at this. I mean, he came to the Mulligan's Magic Show, and I remembered. So he came dressed like this, but I remembered in my head, wait, I've got an old bag of tricks that I used to use. There it is. There's my old bag of tricks.
That's your original one. Okay.
That's the original one that I had for maybe. I'm going to say that's a good 15 to 20-year-old bag. I got out of that one, and I let him take it for Halloween. I mean, are you kidding me? So this picture, there goes Owen running around Maui saying trick or treat and opening up the bag of tricks to put the candy in.
He used that as his Halloween. Okay, that's really cute. That is just such a sweet story, and really a testament to your work, Brenton. Because that's a huge milestone.
It's like the highest honor, right?
Somebody wants to be you.
Yes.
That is.
I'll take it.
That is so cute and just really amazing, and it shows the impact you're having. And well, Owen, if you're watching, good luck to you, yes. And good luck with your magic, and it's just wonderful story. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so we've talked a bit about magic, and now we are going to talk a bit about your passion project that you've been doing for 13 years now. 13. Is that correct?
Yep, 13 years.
Okay, this I am absolutely enthralled with. It is so original and so fun and so engaging and just so much of everything. And it is called Gameshow Fanatics.
Yes.
Okay, I will not be able to do it justice and explain it. So can you talk a bit about how this came to be, what it is exactly, and just talk about what inspired you to do this?
Okay, yeah, so we call ourselves Gameshow Fanatics. We're Maui's mobile game show, where we bring game show experiences to events with custom questions about the group or celebrant. Now, where this came to be was my very great friend, Dusty. Him and I, he was having a Thanksgiving party. And we're talking about like maybe 15, 20 people. And the idea was to have people dress up like pilgrims and Indians. And we're like, okay, we're just having a fun Thanksgiving party. Well, what are we going to do? We should play a game. Let's do something. Oh, you know what the best game is? Family Feud, because you get the most amount of people to play. We could do the Pilgrims versus the Indians, and we can. And I'm like, well, I'm the host. Like, I can be the guy who runs it because I'm, okay being a magician. I can handle doing a show. So we decided to start to try to come up with a home game of Family Feud.
Okay.
And my friend Dusty, Dan Byram is his real name, he is a carpenter, and he decided to make the little panel where you could flip the things from the analog version, the old style of Family Feud,
which was the best one.
Which was the best one because you show us number 4, and you have that anticipation of seeing the ding and seeing the slat turn over. So we created our home game on steroids is basically what we did, is that it was like a game that and I found a funny wig, and we did this fun game for our friends, and suddenly out of nowhere we realized, wow, this is incredible. We could start offering this.
There's something
for
here.
Events. There's something here.
Yeah.
Let's bring game shows to people. And so that set, because we started putting more and more into the little things that we did, and we realized, wow, there's a lot of attention to detail and to make it happen. And we built it. We built this game show set.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, we started to do bar shows. So we did our very first show was at Lulu's, which was attached to the Lahaina Cannery Mall. Okay. And we did promotion, and we sold tickets for $10 at the door, and we packed the place, and it was just the funnest ride ever, where we did a whole game show with custom questions about Lahaina and the West Side, and and then the next one we did a restaurant edition with all questions about restaurants, and we did Hula Grill versus Leilani's, and it just grew really fast, and it was the funnest thing that I've ever done. To be an improvisational game show host where you have a template to follow, which is the game show, but you have the microphone in your hand, and now you've got audience members and contestants on your show that you can interact with, and so this is a different level of comedy for me, and that's why you see a lot of comedians are now becoming game show hosts.
I've noticed that, and like what is the connection with that? And so, I guess it allows you to do both passions.
Yeah, well,
really.
I think it's because of that template. Because again, when you only do stand-up comedy, you got to be really funny. You're doing this, but if you actually have something to do, you have a game to play. You've got all these windows of time to be funny in between playing the game. So it's a brilliant template for comedy success.
Absolutely. Let me ask you, what are your favorite game shows from the golden era of game show television?
Great question. Yeah, well, Family Feud, guaranteed, is definitely my favorite. I mean, because there's no right or wrong answer. It's a survey. 100 people have been surveyed, top 5 answers on the board. Family Feud is definitely number one. Okay. I've always loved Wheel of Fortune. If you go real far back, there was a show called Joker's Wild. That was a really good one. And then Tic-Tac-Toe, Tic-Tac-Doe, it was called, with Wink Martindale. Yeah, Let's Make a Deal, where everybody dressed up.
Yes.
And it's so much fun. There's all game shows. The history of game shows is amazing.
I've always, since I was a kid, I've always been. I loved watching them. And when I was a little kid, there was a show. It came out, I think it was on Nickelodeon, in the '80s, called Double Dare. Do you remember that?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
That was a childhood dream to be on that show with the slime and everything.
Where you did physical challenges, right?
There were eggs, and just it was a messy show.
Yes.
But I loved watching that as a kid, and The Price is Right. And I told you,
Price is Right.
Remember we talked about this? I actually got to be in the audience at The Price is Right.
Oh, and so exciting.
I did not get called up, but I did get to, I had the big name tag sticker and cheering in the audience and going crazy, and it was so much fun. Yeah. It was so much fun. Oh my gosh, I always remember that. Family Feud is so much fun.
So Family Feud is what we decided to parody for what we do, because you get the most amount of people to play, and we've got the whole set, the analog set, where you see the slats turn, and we have a technician behind there flipping the answers and doing the dings and making all the sound effects happen. And then my wife is the lovely prize girl. Show us what they've won. And she does 6 costume changes and comes out and delivers the prizes. And it is so much fun. It's a very different concept, period, let alone for Maui. So.
Well, absolutely. And it's, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this.
Right.
So, be it Maui or the mainland, it's very intriguing, and it's full scale.
Full scale.
And customizable. So thus far from the work you've done, because you do it primarily on Maui, correct?
Yep. And we do have an outer island, or we do have a travel-ready version called Gameshow Light.
Okay. And I also have a clip on that one too.
Oh, cool.
I have 2 clips I want to share.
Okay. Great.
But But you've primarily done it on Maui. So what do you find is the audience that usually comes to you? Is it like a corporate event or a birthday party?
Corporate events, birthday parties, milestone birthday parties for all adults.
Milestone, okay.
Then the next biggest one would be holiday parties.
Christmas
so
I bet you're
parties.
Getting busy.
Yep. Very excited. We have a Christmas party game show tomorrow, actually. People are celebrating Christmas early. Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. Wait a second. But I'm happy with that, because then it keeps the December calendar more open.
Okay, so you really, it's full spectrum. You can
full spectrum, yeah. And I'm trying to get. We have never done a first birthday party, which are so huge here on Maui. I do tons of magic. I do lots of magic shows for first birthday parties. But to bring a game show to a first birthday party, it's mainly because of budget. It's much more of a bigger production, so it's the cost to have us come and perform the game show is much higher than magic, because it's so much more involved.
Right, I can see that. But that would be.
But it'd be perfect for a first birthday party with custom questions about the kid.
And incorporating the family into that.
Right, yeah. And then we've also tapped into the wedding market too.
Oh,
so because it's huge,
that's so big here.
So huge here on Maui.
Yes.
But the challenging thing is getting to the clients before they come to Maui.
How do you get the word out?
And that's the same thing with the corporate too, as well. Is like how you have to have the right type of person to take a risk on something a little bit unique, because it's not your normal thing of entertainment. It's not like getting a trio, a band, or a DJ. This is like, hey, we're going to bring a game show to your event.
Right, exactly.
And I'm going to put on a hideous wig and play a cheesy game show host. It's a little bit out of the box.
Maybe, but see, but you know, there's a whole population of people who love out of the box.
Sure,
and
right.
I'm one of them. So,
Right.
you know, just like connecting with people, and maybe like with the destination wedding
Right.
market, and
Yeah.
figuring how for that, you know, that avenue.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, well, we have a clip of Gameshow Fanatics. So if we can run that just to give the viewers an idea of what this looks like.
Don't change that dial. You've just tuned in to Gameshow Fanatics, where we put you in the game.
Can you imagine how hilarious it would be to have your guests playing in a real live TV game show? If you're an event organizer or planning a party and you want to do something really different without having to lift a finger, look no further. Gameshow Fanatics is a party in a box. We are a full-scale game show production company, complete with gaming panels, contestant panels, gaming boards, face-off podiums, top-notch sound and lighting, and most importantly, a fantastic show. This is something that's never been done before. What sends us over the top is that we do custom questions about the celebrant or the company. We ask for facts about the group or the celebrant, and we simply turn them into game show questions.
Never let a kiss fool you, right?
Depending on the length of time desired for entertainment, we'll put up to 30+ people in the game. Now, I've been doing comedy and magic professionally for over 25 years now. And I've realized that it's when you get your friends and peers on stage that's when audiences really light up. The game show is the perfect opportunity to get multiple people involved and interacting. It's also the perfect platform for zany comedy and surprises at every turn. I put on this hideous wig that we like to call the Silver Fox. And it helps me deliver a kind of humor that can't be delivered unless you're wearing it. It also provides camaraderie and the ultimate team-building experience, where we put your teams together and have them answer questions about what you want. If a company has certain points that they want to push, what better way to do it than through team-building exercises? But not team-building exercises, a team-building game show. We've taken concepts from the best game shows from over 4 decades, and we've combined them with our passions for music and comedy and showmanship, and we've made what we like to call Game Show Night. We guarantee that Game Show Night will have people on the edge of their seat. Laughs, interaction, and fun is impossible to not have with us.
That is such a fantastic promo video.
Thank you for sharing that.
I love it, and I hope that gives the viewers a better idea, because it's so cool, Brenton. It is.
Yes.
It is very, very cool, and you can even see from the participants, like getting them involved in that, and feeling like they're really on the Family Feud, and you could see how excited they were with that. So I wish you the best of luck with that, because it is
Thank you so much.
so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
I mean, everybody wants to be on a game show. Well, not everybody, right?
Maybe not everyone.
Maybe
but
go back
most
to that
people.
99%,
Yeah,
right?
most people.
And we give that opportunity to do it. We'll
And-
put you in the game.
Oh, I love it. I love it. And okay, so you have the full scale version, but you can also take it on the go. So
You're right.
that's Game Show Fanatics Lite.
So game show light, we call
Game
this.
Show Lite.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
where would that be?
So you know how a magician can either do a show or he can do walk-around magic.
Right.
So that's, I guess, where I just developed, all right, well, Game Show Night, which is the whole enchilada, where we'll do the whole big show, the whole production, and Game Show Light is a scaled down version where we don't bring the whole 9 yards, but we only bring the face-off podium from the Family Feud.
Okay.
And that is on wheels, and it's all battery powered.
Genius.
And
Genius, yeah.
we improvisationally can walk around the party and randomly get people up to the podium. Hey, come on up, you could win prizes. And so we can be at a cocktail hour at an event and do the game show as a strolling, interactive game show.
I love that. Okay, well, we have, I actually want to run the clip of that.
Sure,
So we can just see a little bit of the perspective on that. So can we run the game show light clip, please?
If time, space, or budget are a factor, we offer Game Show Lite. Game Show Lite is a scaled-down version of our production and easy to add to any event. Our custom-designed face-off podium not only lights up, it delivers the necessary game show sounds too. The mic is built in, it's on wheels, and it's battery-powered. The prop itself is an energetic fireball. Now add a quick-witted game show host and lovely prize girl. We then bring you a roaming game show, having random guests come to the podium and answer custom questions about the event, group, or celebrant. Packed small and plays big.
See, that's great. So was that like a first Friday?
Yes, that was Makawao,
Makawao,
fourth
okay.
Friday, or is it fourth Friday? I forget which one it was, but that was Makawao.
Each Friday there's a like a street fest in a different part of Maui. So okay, so you can
hopefully
take it.
they're going to come back.
Oh,
right.
They come back. Okay, yeah. When they're happening, they're a lot of fun. So that actually is a great example of where you could take it to. And was that also a school that you were at?
That was it was a school event. Yep, that was at Baldwin High School for
See,
a
that seems
bunch
like a
of
great
kids.
idea too. Yeah, and see, it's such a unique concept, Brenton, that you can really, and you highlight that you customize it, but you can reach so many audiences with this.
Yeah.
And build that that team, or team building or leadership development in so many different capacities. So that's very intriguing to me.
Yeah,
and
team building's a big one because that's what a lot of the corporate
for the corporate events
would like.
Yeah. So it's from a business perspective,
And
you got something solid there.
it's also educational. So if people want to do something about something specific, I'm just going to randomly throw out, like if it was about whales, and you wanted to do a whole show, a whale fundraiser, or something like that, and we could do a whole custom show where you learn, and even if you don't know the answer about something, you then learn about it. Like if you higher or lower, 3,000 whales spend their winters in Maui, is the answer higher or lower, and we do all these questions where you can learn. So
that would be great for the school.
Great for schools and for weddings again, because you learn about the bride and the groom, like where did they want to go on honeymoon but wasn't able to, and things like that, right?
Well, I don't have a clip of this one, but you had talked about you did a special newlywed game.
Oh gosh, this was hilarious. Yeah. So when we first started doing it, when we were wondering, okay, well, it'd be great to parody all the game shows, right? Gosh, I would love to have a whole warehouse full of all the props from Price is Right and Wheel of Fortune. I would love to do that. I love thinking big, but the truth is, the Family Feud gets the most amount of people to play.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, just a quick side note, I want to mention that a lot of people ask about copyright and stuff like that. Like, are you okay doing this? And as long as we don't call it Family Feud, we're okay. So I've learned that games are meant to be played. So we are not breaking any rules by doing our game show.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, because a lot of people think that, like, oh, what
is this copyrighted?
Yeah, like, what's going to happen? Oh, and where I was answering, I sidetracked though. I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just, my brain is just so fascinated with all of this. We were talking about like the brides, like learning about at a wedding or with schools and.
Oh, the newlywed game.
Yeah, yes.
So when we were, ding, we're back. So when we were trying to figure out another game to parody, it was during Valentine's Day that Lulu's, actually, who had us for the original one, said, well, what if we did something for Valentine's Day? And we're like, okay, well, how about the newlywed game? But wait, let's combine speed dating with the newlywed game, and it would be perfect for the bar. It would be perfect. So we developed the newly met game.
The newly met game.
And we haven't stuck with doing it, but the video.
It's on your website, right?
It's not on our website because we don't offer this as a normal corporate event.
Okay.
This was a one-off thing that we did, but it's so much fun and great video.
Well, it's such a fun concept, and it's just silly, silly. So, and that just really gives perspective of how many different things you can do with this business. So cool. Okay, well, we are almost out of time, and I knew this would happen because this is such a great topic for just that I could talk endlessly about. But okay, so Brenton, can you talk just for a moment about what your visions and goals are going forward? Now that you've shared a bit of your work with Magic and your work with Gameshow Fanatics, what do you see going forward?
Great question. I mean, I will say that as a magician who's performing all the time doing magic and my bread and butter and a weekly show, I am constantly developing and trying to come up with new material as a magician, which is not easy. And the truth is, the game show has taken a lot of my creative juices, and I put a lot of my time and energy into the business part of show business, because I love, my dad told me that there's 8 letters in business and 4 letters in show. You got to work twice as hard at the business, So
there's a lot of truth in that.
So and the administrative stuff, and so I am. What my goals are is to continue to develop everything, but also get more ease and grace with the administrative part and the business, because it's so overwhelming. It really, it's so many back and forths and the emails. I didn't realize it was going to take so much time out of my performing career.
Finding that balance.
Yeah, but for the game show, it's definitely my goal to continue to develop this. I believe that we should be booking game show gigs here way more. I mean, we started to have a lot of momentum before COVID, and then that happened, and we're dips and valleys with it. But my goal is to definitely book as many game shows as possible.
Okay.
And I do love thinking very big and thinking about, gosh, what if we could franchise this and have a game show set that lived somewhere in the mainland and market it to any corporation. And you don't have to just come to Maui. We'll we'll deliver a game show to you in Minnesota if you want to. I love thinking big. It's a little daunting, but.
It's daunting, but I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I wish you the best, because I think it's great and it's exciting, and it's one step at a time. One step at a time. But to have that vision is a big step. So I wish you the best with it.
And I hope to bring the game show back to the public again sometime soon. I think that Yale Theater would be a great place to do our game show, and we could do, and we could actually have it be more like Price is Right, where people buy tickets, and then the only people who play are if you're randomly seated in the right spot, like. Someone who's sitting in J14, come on down.
Right.
And we could get the public to randomly play in our game show.
I say go for it. Go for it.
But right now, we're still just doing private events.
Right. You'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there.
Okay.
Brenton, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today to talk about magic and game shows and tapping into your creative self. I just think it's such a wonderful gift that each person can give to themselves. And you have taken it to the next level with what you have created. So I'm just really so happy we met. I can't even tell you how long that day of travel was for me. And so that flight that we met on was the last leg of, I think it took me like 17 hours to get back to Hawaii. And so
Wow.
you know what though? It worked out as it was meant to. And that's a little bit of magic for me. And being able to connect with you and learn about your work and your story and being able to develop the show. And we're sitting here right now.
Yep.
So
I love it.
it's really incredible. Yes, we have a few more magic tricks to come out. But I'm just really excited for you, Brenton, and the work you and your wife are creating in this business and where it leads you guys. And I just can't wait to see what evolves for you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations of what you've already done, and good luck with what is to come.
Love it.
To learn more about Brenton's work with magic and his bag of tricks, you can visit magicbrent.com.
This is so much fun.
Which you have up on the screen. And you can also catch his show every week at Mulligan's on the Blue in Wailea, currently on Thursdays at 6:30. And reservations are highly recommended, correct?
Yes. Yep.
On OpenTable?
OpenTable.
OpenTable.com.
Or you can call them.
Or you can call Mulligan's on the Blue directly. And to learn more about Gameshow Fanatics or to book an event with Brenton and his team, visit gameshowfanatics.com. And I'm sure that they will work with as many different ideas that come at them and create a wonderful game show experience.
Love it. Thank you so much for having me on
Absolutely.
the program.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us for Sentience, Conversations About Lives Being Lived. All episodes can be watched on Akaku channels in Maui County and streamed everywhere on the Akaku Maui Stream app. You can also view all episodes on our YouTube channel, Sentience, Conversations About Lives Being Lived. And follow us on Instagram at @Sentience Show for updates, guest highlights, and opportunities to be on the show. I am Alison Samalita, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Yeah, ring that bell one more time.